Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Dillon Show. We are here with one of the greatest comics, 𝐂𝐍𝐄𝐃. You can go buy the movie 4th of July with Joe List on his website right now. You can get all 5 seasons of Louis on the website. Mm-hmm. You can also get all of the iconic stand-up specials in a bundle, I think, for $25.
That's right.
That's cheap.
It is, right?
It's very cheap.
Yeah.
I would have.
You would have clicked it?
I would have hiked it.
Yeah. I think I could have, maybe.
Yes.
But I think that maybe people would have bought less of them.
That's a good point.
When I raise the prices, I sell less of them. That tends to happen.
Interesting.
And I think over time, it ends up not being more money.
Well, you got to come up with a lie. Like, you got to come up and say, these are going away.
But that's the thing with digital content.
It just doesn't.
It never goes away. It just sits there. You don't even make it anymore. They just clone it and take it for themselves.
Yeah. So you can't do like the farewell tour, which a lot of people will go, you know, like Cher's done it 3 times.
I mean, I'm doing this tour. I'm on tour now. And this tour, I don't have the list, but I'm coming to Milwaukee and Atlanta. These are new shows I put on. Everything is sold out.
Right.
But then I'm doing the Madison Square Garden on January 28th.
And that's the big one.
That's the big one. I'm doing that, and we sold 10,000 tickets the first day.
Wow.
And then now it's trickling because the seats get shittier and shittier.
Right.
But at the last email I sent out, I said, this could be my last show.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, right? It's
not.
Absolutely not.
Of course not.
But it's my last show. If you want it to be the last opportunity to ever see me on stage.
He's dying.
It's going to be like the Beatles at Shea Stadium.
Yeah, he's dying.
I'm not dying.
4.
That's my last show.
The last show. Yeah.
Well, my last show.
Do you ever think of it when you do the Garden, it's going to be such a big deal? After the Garden, do you think, I'll take a minute?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe the Boston Garden will call me.
Right.
The opportunities at the Garden opens.
Well, you're
no, that is how I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to take I didn't take a break between the last tour and this one. The tour that ended with the last special, Sorry. I had shows to make up from the pandemic that were scheduled in March and June after the special came out. And I didn't have an act anymore because I had to dump all the material into this. You know, the special came out. Everybody that comes to see me has usually seen the most recent special. So, and they expect new material because that's what I've always done. So I had to write a new act very quickly. I took maybe 3 weeks off and I went right back to work.
You went right back out there.
Yeah. And that turned out, I did a different process of writing an hour.
How did it differ?
I just said, you have to do this now. Instead of letting it flow, I just made it happen.
Is it better to have the pressure?
In this case, it was because it came out good. But then I had to, next thing I knew, I'm doing shows in Tel Aviv and all the, doing real concerts with a brand new hour. I usually do a more, but now it's this hour is really strong, I think.
Do you feel fully back? Like fully back?
Yeah. Sure.
Good.
I mean, back to what? Nobody's ever back. It's always forward. It's new.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have a thing about back in my head. I'm here.
You doing the Garden?
Yes,
These are
I am
massive.
going back to the Garden.
That's huge.
Yes, I'm really excited. I like that room. It's,
In terms of doing stand-up comedy, is that a room where you go, this is the pinnacle?
No. I mean, to me, honestly, any great show is the pinnacle. So, I've done the Garden 8 times in my life, and it was important enough to remember that it was 8. I don't know how many times I've been to the Columbus Funny Bone. I don't know how many times. But I can't say. But I've done the Columbus Funny Bone where I've done shows where I'm looking out the window of the plane the next day going, that was it.
That was amazing.
That was it. That's what I worked for.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah, that was what this is all about. That's why I give a shit.
Right.
So a show at the Garden is definitely superficially it's the 19,000 people. Yeah. And it's Madison Square Garden, and Ali fought Frazier there.
Yeah.
I saw AC/DC there when I was quite young, and Led Zeppelin I never saw there, but that's where they played. That's where their concert film takes place. Yeah, that place touches a lot of sure. It feels like a pinnacle in terms of it's that many people. It's New York City. It's the premier room It's also expensive. It's an expensive place.
Renting it is about $400,000
Something like that. Yeah, I forget.
to just rent it before.
It's astronomical. But
Before
they
you
know
make-
they got you because you want to play the garden.
You're going to play the
Manhattan.
garden.
I'm now the new generation is like I guess the Barclay is just as good,
No,
but
I mean, I guess, but
it is. It's just as many people, and it's
Right.
Brooklyn. Brooklyn's like a better city than Manhattan.
really,
Not to me. I love
right.
where I live.
I agree with you.
But I'm talking about
For
it.
the young people
Yeah.
that go, Brooklyn's the thing.
Uh-huh.
What about the Bronx? When does the Bronx ever, you know what I mean? Because every area has been gentrified.
Yeah.
We've gone into Jersey City, with
Even Harlem.
Harlem, everything. But
Yeah.
there's something about the Bronx that holds on.
Yep.
It holds on and
Yeah.
it just goes, we're never going to be anything but the Bronx. It's going to be tough.
Yes.
And that's what it is.
It's still 1972 in the Bronx. There's still long
Yes.
Oldsmobiles
Yes.
parked on the street with graffiti on them.
It's a time
And,
warp.
You know, like a guy in a leather jacket carrying a briefcase
Yeah.
with the music.
Right, right.
Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
You know, and somebody's going to cut you. I'm going to cut you, man.
Right.
I mean, I never go to the Bronx. So.
I've been 4 times in my life.
Yeah, so we don't know what it's really like.
Right. That's a good point.
Some of the Bronx is very beautiful, you know.
It's
Wave Hill. And
Sure.
Yeah.
the beautiful areas.
Yes, there's green in the Bronx.
It's the Bronx to me is the most it's the best example of why a lot of these urban planning things failed. When you look at these big buildings that they built,
Yeah.
where all of the people have to live kind of stacked on top of each other in these very bleak,
So, but
dreary buildings.
When you say fail,
yeah,
it depends on what the goal is.
that's a great point.
So the urban planning was just stick as many people as possible into the cheapest possible buildings,
Right,
get paid by the city, subsidies,
right,
because it's not just a simple building contract.
yeah,
And make a shit ton of money and pack all of those people into one small space
right,
out of Manhattan.
right.
You know, mission accomplished.
Yes, that right. So if that was the goal,
Yeah.
well done.
It was.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's exactly right. But a lot of great things. Hip hop came out of the Bronx, like that has given us
Sure.
good things.
Yeah.
But
At
unfortunately,
least they got hip hop, you know.
well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it came out of the Bronx. It couldn't have come out of Long Island, where I lived. It would never have. Hip hop would have never emerged from Levittown, Long Island. We just did, but now it is.
I mean, that's who got rich from hip hop.
That is exactly who got rich. No,
So even in that sense, if you pack a bunch of people way uptown in these shit buildings
Right.
that cost nothing,
yes,
also
yeah,
their squalor will create music that you will get rich from.
that's right. And then
And
eventually,
they'll get a little money, but what you can count on
you will get the lion's share,
because they'll die.
right? Because it's going to be bad,
Yeah.
and you're going to take the money.
I'm sure Biggie's mom gets a check,
but it's not.
but it's not the check that
she deserves.
you know, Josh
Josh
Robin gets.
He might get a bigger check.
He gets a far bigger. And
Far bigger
he'll
check.
keep coming. I bought a Biggie album on iTunes recently.
Yes.
I like to listen to him when I'm jogging.
Yeah, it's the best.
But you know, his mom.
It's not.
14 cents.
Yeah. Well, those deals
So
are.
this keeps
yeah.
on working. This thing keeps on working.
Yeah,
It's
these
just
360 deals that musicians sign,
Yeah.
which is like a deal where they give you an advance and then they recoup the advance. And it's designed to keep you in debt. It's designed to keep you like constantly not earning money. It's designed to keep you like beholden to the record company.
That's right. And everything they give you, you think they're giving you stuff.
Right.
Like they say, hey, guess what, fellas? They go to the band and they say, you're flying in a private plane. And they go, woo!
Yeah.
And then they pay for the private plane.
That's right.
It comes out of their fucking record.
Yes.
And the private plane is a deal that the company has, vertically
Yeah.
with somebody else.
Right.
All those bells and whistles are just horse shit. Yes.
Yeah.
You have to look after your own thing. I mean, I stopped taking advances on the road a long time ago. It's a stupid thing.
Right.
Because they get to call your advance an expense and sort of take it away from you when they split.
Right.
Well, I had to give you an advance. Yeah, but that's what?
Right.
It's such a easy con
Yeah.
that you really, and nobody will tell the artists ever.
Right. Nobody sits down with you and goes, listen, don't take that Porsche.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, or here's where your Porsche's coming from.
They have this thing now in the Bronx called drill rap.
Yeah.
So what drill rap is, and Eric Adams just talked about it. It's social media driven beefs with young rappers under 21, young guys, and they diss each other on Instagram. And I mean, literally, they'll go outside of someone's project and go, "I'm here," like with a gun. They'll be like, "I'm right here. Fuck you."
Yeah.
And literally they go on Instagram Live. So Eric Adams was kind of like, maybe we should ban this on Instagram. Like the mayor of New York's like, why don't
Has it resulted in any
killings? Lots of killings.
Wow.
And the music is reflective of, no, it's literally, but
So
the
wait a minute,
kids are
so a guy
16.
goes- so a kid,
A kid,
16-year-old
a
with
child.
with a gun
With a gun.
goes, look, I'm outside of the fucking whatever, great black person projects,
I'm outside of the whatever it is.
at Medgar Evers project.
Yes.
And come here and I'll kill you. So now everybody's like, oh shit. If I go to his Instagram, I can see this.
Everybody
happen.
on
And then
Insta-
it starts having like the little balloons and the pop, pop, pop.
Yes, everybody is with the
Everyone's
little
like,
faces.
yeah.
You see the little faces.
Yeah, it starts really going.
And people have been literally killed.
And then the guy shows up inside of the Instagram.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he's doing like, I'm gonna go kill my friend.
Yeah.
And then has this resulted in like
this has resulted
in live Instagram deaths?
A few of them.
For real?
For real. I mean, Bobby, you can look this up, but it's resulted in deaths 100%. And the DA is now trying to use the rap lyrics as a way to like convict, because some of the rap lyrics are so direct. They're like, we killed him on 175th by the subway yesterday at 4 p.m. So the DA is going like, we're trying to put these rap lyrics out as evidence, in addition to other things. But it's some of the rap is very good. I mean, it's very like, it's got a whole new sound, and it comes, the UK has it too. This is going on in London, where it's like social media. You think of all the rap beefs that have happened of people not liking each other. Now you add social media, everything happens in like real time.
Right. But also it feels like what's needed there. Like when you look at a picture and you go, what's missing?
Right.
And how do we solve it with what we have today?
Right.
When you describe what those guys are doing, what's needed is an app.
Yes.
That can bring them together more
easier.
Right. Like a grinder for I'm going to kill you.
100%. Like a social media.
Like
an app called.
And it's like this, and you go, I don't want to kill it. Like but it's for killing people.
You're swiping.
Well, because it is on some level, a guy going, I'm out here. He has a gun. He's going, I'm out here. He's wanting to connect with that person.
That's right.
He's what he really wants is to see him. I think I'm not even being facetious. It's like, no, it's a need to connect. It's all that this always is. Like when I was, in my I don't know, maybe 19, I was just starting to do comedy. I had a really fucked up job. I was a moderator on a phone line. This is before the internet. People used to call party lines. I don't know if you used to.
I'm trying to remember.
I was 19 and you were dead.
I was probably.
How old are you?
I'm 16. No, I am 37.
Yeah, so that might have been before you.
So anyway, a party line was calling up like
party line,
like live girls type thing.
It was guys and girls all. Okay. It was supposed to be, come on the party line. We're all here hanging out.
Oh, on the phone.
Yeah, on the phone.
It's a party.
You call up and you hear people talking, and then you can switch to different rooms, but it's rooms of people like talking on a phone. It's like a chat room, but it was just voices.
Wow.
It was a 900 number, so you were paying money per minute to sit there. And the point, they sort of saying that it's social, but obviously the point is to try to get laid.
Right.
And the way what would happen is because I got a job working there, and it's being an operator essentially, and you have headphones and a microphone, and you have these banks, and you see people light up. You see, oh, there's 10 people in this room, right? And so you go to that room and it's 10 or 12 guys, and you go in, it's silence. You see that they're there, and there's silence because it's all dudes. And then one light comes on and you hear a girl go, hello? And you, hello, hello, hey, hello. And they all try to talk to her because no girls would ever want to call.
Right.
And part of my job was to try to like move people around so there'd be more of a mix. But mainly my job was to break up fights. And they disconnect guys who were getting aggressive.
So they would fight each other.
Mostly it was just fighting. Yeah.
On the party line.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, who's there? Hey, dude, shut up. I'm trying to fucking talk to her. Then they would fight. And then when they would get in a fight, this is in Boston too. All Boston Irish people trying to get laid on the phone, and paying dollars. So when they got in fights, they'd go, I'm going to fucking kick your ass. I'm going to kick your ass. And they'd start yelling at each other and threatening each other. Oh, yeah, where are you? I'll fucking come right where you are right now. And the guy would be like, I'm in Quincy, you fucking homo. The other guy's like, I'm in Dorchester. It's right. Nearby. I'll come to fucking Quincy. Where exactly in fucking Quincy are you? I'm on fucking 3rd Street and whatever.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is that near the quick shop? He goes, no, what you do? And then they'd calm down to make plans.
Yeah.
When are you going to be there? I get out of work at 7 and they'd make a date.
Yeah. To fight over a girl on a party line.
Who's been gone for 10 minutes.
Yeah, so it's kind of a similar thing now. Now that you just have social media and you're able to broadcast all your activities. So if you want to go and show up outside somebody's house and say, like, where are you, bitch? You talked all this shit on that record. Yeah. Where are you?
Right.
And it's becoming kind of, I guess, an issue for the mayor. The mayor has said this is a problem.
The mayor feels like it's got to... We got to put a stop to it.
Yes. Well, I mean, the other thing is there's a lot of gangs, and I always thought, what's the big deal if a kid's in a gang? And hear me out, because the way I feel about certain things is that, are there no positives to a gang? This is we talk about gangs like there's no positives to them. There's 100% positives to being in a gang.
Well, just to parse what you're saying, you're not saying that gangs are 100% positive.
No.
You're saying that you're 100% certain that there's 1% positivity.
Well,
in the gang.
there's got to be, here's the deal. If you live in an area where being in it's almost required to be in a gang. In certain areas, you go, now obviously if there's negatives to the gang life that we don't even have to mention because they're obvious. They're seemingly obvious. You could be a rat, and that's not, right? If you're a bitch, if you're...
You mean what could happen to you if you're one of those things?
Well, yeah, if you can't handle it, it's obviously if you can't handle the gang life, it's bad. There's negative ramifications. But
and also every gang life ends in death, most likely.
Or
prison, and which means another gang.
Yes, but... My whole thing is everybody always goes, gang. Like people like where I grew up, they're like, that gangs. And I'm like, what are we offering the kids that isn't a gang? That's my question. Like,
well, because here's what happens to kids that end up in gangs, okay? So like your mother, and I'm not describing every gang person, I'm describing somebody I'm making up.
Right.
Your mother is, you don't even know, you haven't seen her.
Right.
Sometimes you see her on the street.
Right.
Because she's taking a guy into a building foyer to suck his cock.
That's right.
So that she can get some crack cocaine.
Right.
Sometimes you see her go, I think that's my mom.
That's mom's. And you're with your friends and you're embarrassed.
Right.
And they tease you.
They go, your mom sucks a guy's cock for crack.
She's sucking him off for crack.
What the way they teased us.
Yeah.
Like, you look funny. Or, you listen to Bay City Rollers, but they are like, your mom is sucking a guy's cock right there.
For crack.
Behind the McDonald's. I can see it.
And then you'll always have
How does that feel, fucking loser?
You'll always have that one good friend who's like, don't worry about them.
Don't worry about it.
There's always one good friend.
Mom's doing it. It's not like their moms. Nobody's standing there to make fun of that kid.
Right.
Has a great life.
Exactly.
So probably they don't much tease each other.
Right.
Because the meanest kid sees that guy's mom sucking a cock and he goes, I'm going to let that go.
Right.
Because I know how that's going to come back to
That's
me.
mom.
Yeah, because that's my aunt.
That's right. That's auntie.
Yeah. So that's that person's mom. Let's start there. Okay. Yeah. And he lives with his grandma.
Right.
Who is just tired of sucking dick. So at least there's that.
She's elderly.
Yeah. And she goes to church, and it's like that's the church
Right.
or whatever. And by the way, this is like 90s. I don't know anything
Right.
about people's lives anymore. I don't know anything
This
about anyone's
seems
life.
Similar.
And then his dad is killed his uncle, and it was a double murder, whatever. And
Right.
his people are in prison, and it's just, and he goes to a school, where it's just a cop frisks you at the door.
Yeah, it's just kids throwing chairs.
Yeah, it's just madness.
There's no education.
Yes.
Yeah.
And every day he walks by these gangs, and because he's not affiliated, they
Right.
go, what the fuck? I'm going to kick your ass every time you walk through this neighborhood.
That's right.
And all his friends are like, if you just join Red, you walk down Red streets and
You're
get there and
okay.
you're okay.
Yeah.
You will be safe if you do that. And we have parties, we have barbecues.
Right.
We go out. We
have
drink.
fun.
There's every girl you want is
Right.
affiliated or in the gang.
Right.
And so then you join a gang and you start acting tough and you start talking about, and then you start carrying a weapon. And then the city says, we got to get rid of these gangs.
Right.
like if we get rid of the gangs,
Right.
the kid will be fine.
Right.
Like, where does he walk back? Like, okay, gang, everybody go
Right.
home to what?
Right. Home to what?
Yeah.
So that was my whole thing. It's like, listen, we all know that gangs have a lot of negatives. And the problem is there's nothing being offered to these kids outside of that. Like we have not articulated a vision for a lot of these young kids that doesn't involve joining a gang.
Right.
That's the issue. Like, we can be horrified by gangs, and people in the suburbs are. They go, I cannot believe it.
Well, because it doesn't exist for you until they roll up your street.
That's
or
right.
until you try to go to their neighborhood. You go
Right.
to their neighborhood to buy crack.
Right.
Or to get a blowjob from a crack whore.
Right.
And these gangs bother you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So to me, I was always like, obviously, I'm not saying join a gang, but I've always understood that people in certain areas, they feel like it's the best course of action for them.
Yeah, sure.
There's
also those people that do the far-reaching ideas, like, you know what's a gang? The Republican Party.
Right.
Like, no.
Yeah.
No.
You know what the real gang is?
Yeah.
The teachers union.
That's right.
That's
There's
a real
gang for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to clean any of that up. How do you fix any of that? It's tough.
No, I know how to do it.
Okay.
But I don't. It's boring to talk
No,
about.
of course.
It's obvious, but it's boring.
Yeah.
I'd rather do other things.
Yeah. No, I know. It's, what are you going to do? So, like you said, you just kind of watch.
I think that there is a quotient. I don't even know what that word means. I use it too much.
No, I think you're right.
Quotient.
Yeah. On a podcast, know this. You're always right until you have any self-doubt.
Right.
See, what you're experiencing right now is a very old media thing where you go, did I say the wrong thing? Is that word wrong?
That's old media.
It's old media. What you have to adapt to now is that you're creating reality every time you utter something.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
So, 40%.
Yes.
It's
great.
There's a quotient of human suffering that's just always there. So you can squeeze the balloon here and it pops up here, and it's just I mean, the thing is, as long as you have a world where people want more than they can hold in their hands,
that's a problem.
You're going to have this problem.
That's right.
I mean, it's so basic. It goes to the most basic thing that if you don't get rid of it,
right,
you're not going to solve anything. And,
right.
And should you, what the words solve and goal and failure are all relative.
Right.
To what you value and what you don't, Right. So if you like a world where some people can be not only rich, but just like have 4 things.
Right.
That you don't know where they are.
Right.
If you own things that you're not holding like this, you're part of the problem.
Right.
If you view those as problems.
Right.
The reason there are gangs and murder is because I have some stuff that's behind a locked door, and I depend on a whole system to keep people from just going in there. But if you didn't need those, if you didn't need to have, and I don't mean the wealthy obviously is an acute example of it.
Yeah.
I don't know where human beings got this urge to have more than just a little thing of food, and you know what I mean? a roof, a food, a tool to make food with,
But that's the stem. That's where all the problems stem from.
All of them. Because if you just need what you really just need, sustenance and a little pleasure from the sky and and nature, then you need someone to look after shit for you. You need to convince someone else that it's a good idea for them to protect your stuff, the stuff that while you're sleeping, or stuff that you can't look at. Do you know what I mean?
And that creates
a system of like people willing to harm each other for somebody else's money.
Right. Yeah.
And the only way you do that is by convincing them something like, well, they're from the other team, or they're the other religion, or they're not religious, they're bad people, that kind of thing. So, but once human skills are learned for one thing and then applied to a bunch of other ones. So we learned this skill of like, get other people to protect my stuff.
Right.
For this and that reason, and talk people into hurting each other, which isn't natural.
Right.
And then once you've done that, you can transfer that to many things. Like, let's make a whole country. Let's annex a country. Let's do this. Let's do that.
Let's do this. Let's do that. And then you have people, if you fast forward, you now have people in the Soviet Union, or Russia, breaking their arms trying to avoid a conscription, a draft.
Right. And then the government says, well, now you're a one-armed soldier, you fucking dummy. You shouldn't have done that, because now you're going to have an even harder time.
Now you're out there.
That's right.
Because people in Russia now are going, hey, we don't want to do this. This is your thing.
You know what's weird is we're not in that war. That's Russia versus Ukraine, right?
That's right. We're funding Ukraine.
We're obsessed with it, but we're not even in it.
We're not in it, but we're giving them money.
It's as far away from us as you can get a war to be.
We're giving them money, and we are giving them weapons.
Yes, but you know that Iran, like if you look on CNN.com right now, it's Trump.
Yeah, always.
Marjorie Greene person. Who the fuck is that? She's got four stories.
She's getting a divorce.
Brett Favre, him. They go after Herschel Walker once in a while. Like, let's just bring up another. Hey, we just found out that Herschel Walker didn't shave well this morning. Right. That's what's on CNN.com and the weather and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the weather about Tampa.
Right.
That's CNN.com right now. Iran is like a central problem to American history going back since I was alive.
Yeah.
They're having a fucking revolution right now. Like they're having, there's freedom fighters in Iran being like mowed down, and they're just going, fuck you, we're going to do this.
Right.
And they're fighting for a general sense of freedom against this regime that we've been like saying is like, they feed weapons to the Russians.
They're evil.
The evil Iranians. And we conflate them with it. They're not even Arabs. They're not anything that anyone thinks they are.
Right.
The thing that Iran's problem with us was that we really fucked with them for years.
For years.
So they got rid of our guys, and they just said, all Iran has really ever said to the U.S. is just leave us the fuck alone. Just get away from us. They've never invaded us.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's say they're the biggest problem in the world. There's people there just like walking in the streets with no weapons, just trying to get rights now. Like that's a huge
and no
thing.
One here really cares.
No one gives a shit.
No one cares.
It's not on CNN.com.
No.
It's not on the whole. If you scroll down, you get to like,
it's like
here's a surprising picture of Lindsay Wagner, the bionic woman.
Right.
She looks like shit now.
Right.
I mean, I've seen.
It's on Instagram.
I once went on Politico.com.
Yeah.
And you have to take some responsibility for the banner ad right above your name.
Right.
It says Politico.
Yeah.
And above it, it says the woman from Crocodile Dundee is disgusting now. That's what it said. She's disgusting now. And I was like, wow. Okay, Politico. Why don't I get to believe that Politico, they sold that space and said, hey, if you want Politico to sponsor your idea, give us money.
Right.
And that idea was that girl is disgusting now.
She's disgusting.
Disgusting. That was the word used. I remember that very well. But so that's what's important to those people. But there's an actual thing. Iran is like a huge thing.
But it's on Instagram. Like you go on Instagram and you see that there's Persia, because I'm in LA. Yeah. So in LA, everybody has relatives in Iran. So everybody is posting on Instagram, like, please, talk about this.
Yeah.
Use your platform, amplify the voices, but no one
wants.
No one cares
because they're not sure. What is that like?
Yeah.
Terrorists. What is Iran?
Right. And I shared the post
of it.
Like I shared a post on my story. I don't know what that did, but like, there was a woman that got killed there, and I don't know the morality police or the virtuous police, whatever they are, killed a woman.
Right.
And then
you mean the progressive people, the woke people killed her?
No, the Iranian guard. They call it a morality.
They have one there too.
They have one there, but it's
different for different.
Yeah, it's what ours wants to be.
Right.
Where they actually
that's why they're going like, hey, don't.
Right.
Maybe that's why they're not into it.
Well, the other thing is
they're not into attacking Iran because they're like, we want to do that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is just like in Putin's such a great villain.
Yeah, he's just.
Delicious. He's just a Hollywood villain.
Yes.
A KGB.
Yes.
Kills his friends. White guy. White man. Heterosexual white man. Beautiful villain.
Yeah.
And now the Iranian mullahs are less attractive. They have an old religion.
Yes.
And they're people of color. And they've been and we fucking meddled in that country and we overthrew.
Yeah.
And the Shah, the whole thing. So it's tougher to kind of.
Aren't the Kardashians?
Kardashians. They're Armenian, I believe.
Armenian?
They're Armenian.
So close to the word Iranian.
Yeah, well, they're related.
They should care.
They should. And they might do a post.
They should be like, okay, we're not Iranian, but we're Armenian. And that sounds like it. So please help.
Please help. Well, there's not much to do. It's the way I felt about Ukraine when it happened was I was like, hey.
Well, there's nothing you can do about any of these things. It's not our fucking business.
It's not our business.
But if you're gonna have a news website.
Sure, you should
mention a huge piece of news.
Talk about it.
But I mean, in Iran.
Yes.
I've always been fascinated by it.
Yeah.
They make beautiful movies.
Yes.
There is a film there, I think it's called Cherry Tree or Sweet Cherry or something like that. And it's about a guy, I saw it years ago on VHS. It's about a guy driving around town, he wants to kill himself, but it's a sin, he can't do it. So he's driving around town asking people to kill him. And it's just that. It's like in real time. And it's a heartbreaking, beautiful, beautiful movie.
Right.
There's another movie from there called The Separation. That's actually was made an international noise.
Yeah.
That guy still makes films, I think. It's about an Iranian couple breaking up and raising their daughter separately. And it's in the trappings of their culture and their traditions, but it's really just, there's a scene where the dad is with his daughter's like 14.
Yeah.
And they stop to get gas. And it's a very beautifully shot movie. You see the guy and he tells his daughter, the guy just pumped the gas and he says, pay the guy. And he gives her money and she goes, she's never done that before. And he goes, just go give him the money and get the change. And then you see him in the rearview mirror. He's watching his daughter negotiate a simple thing. And he just has this smile on his face.
Yeah.
Because he sees her doing something growing up.
Right.
That's such a moment of.
Right.
And when I saw that, I was like, I didn't need that to tell me, but it's like there's no difference between me and New York City,
right,
divorced dad and an Iranian dad, because we're sold this idea that it's this whole all of the world. But it's a very beautiful culture,
right?
And so they have. I mean, we never give a shit about actual freedom fighters. Like you don't really hear much about the Hong Kong folks.
No.
Or Taiwan, it's like
our goal is
Taiwan.
Not freedom.
John Cena apologizes for saying that Taiwan exists.
Well, no. Our goals, I don't think it's ever been freedom. I think that's no. We don't really want. I don't even think we want freedom here. Really,
no.
I think what we want is this illusion of it, and the illusion that it is the top of our list. Like,
well, you're saying we, and that's the thing is, it's an amazing thing about this version of like this thing, this social media, this weird thing, is that everyone identifies with it and says they use words like everybody
and we.
Why is everything like this? It's not.
Right.
Barely anything. This is how I feel about social media is that like everyone calls it everybody.
Right.
Like it's always like, John Travolta said this and everyone got mad. That's always the story. First of all, they're not everyone.
Right.
They're not even a lot of people.
Right.
They're not even most people. They're not even their whole selves.
Right.
There's no whole person.
Right.
On Twitter.
None.
Or Instagram or in the media, because those are just giant Twitters. Those are just long tweets.
Yeah.
There's no whole person on Twitter. It's a fraction of a bunch of different people that adds up to a large number of fractions.
Yes.
That doesn't represent any whole person.
Right.
Like if you cut a bunch of dogs' heads off and put them in a pile, you wouldn't say that adds up to like 50 dogs. You understand? It's just their heads.
It's just their heads.
And in this case, it's just their assholes. It's just their fucking purient. It's just this worst part of ourselves.
Yeah.
Of them. Of not even all of them. I'm not on Twitter. Most people aren't. Almost nobody is on fucking Twitter. And even the people that aren't actually wholly there. That's why they wake up in the morning and look at their own tweets and go, oh.
I love doing this podcast. I love talking to you guys. 14 years ago in 2008, I was a mortgage security salesman. Can you believe that? That's not true. I sold retail mortgages, but they don't know that. Who wrote the copy? Whatever. Reminds me of what's going on now. It was bad then, it's bad now. One thing I really like is MasterWorks. It basically allows people, regular people, to invest in art, invest shares in art. You can't afford a Picasso, that's okay. Why do rich people constantly put their money in art? Because a lot of times it's beating the S&P 500 and they know it. Microsoft founder Paul Allen, he has $1 billion worth of art he hoarded. Why? He's not an idiot. He knew the shit was going to appreciate. Proof is in the pudding. To date, MasterWorks has sold 6 paintings for an average net return of 29% to investors. What MasterWorks allows you to do is buy shares in these iconic pieces of art that only go up in value. Okay, and there is a wait list, but they're hooking all my listeners up with priority access to their platform. Just go to masterworks.art/Tim. That's masterworks.art/TIM for priority access. I'm telling you right now, it's something I wish I had done and I'm starting to do now. Diversify money into the art world because art continually goes up in value, okay? Rich people have done this forever. It's something that, like precious metals, it just doesn't go anywhere. So art, you love it, you need it, but you can't afford it, dummy. So you got to get shares of it. This is true. This is a fact. I'm being factual. Masterworks is the move. Just go to masterworks.art/Tim. That's masterwork.art/Tim for priority access. See important Regulation A disclosures at masterworks.com/CD. That's masterworks.com/CD. I love these guys. I love Masterworks. I'm using it, and it's amazing. Me and my friends and family have used Masterworks now, and to me, it's something that I can't get enough of. I don't think you'll be able to get enough of it. It's just one of those things. It's like, oh, here's a great thing I'm doing for you again. You know, so many of my friends are losing their hair and they're switching to Keeps. Keeps is so great, okay? I'm telling you right now, if you want to keep the hair you have on your head, the way to do it is Keeps, okay? It is a hair loss treatment. Prescription medication delivered at home, online doctor consultation. It doesn't cost a lot of money. I'm telling you, everybody I know that uses it is very happy about it. They have convenient virtual doctor consultations and medications delivered straight to your door every 3 months. 24-hour care and support. Low cost. I'm telling you, it has everything your hair needs delivered straight to your door with discreet packaging. Proven results. Remember, prevention is key. You don't want to start trying to solve a problem once it's already become unsolvable. You want to get it early. I'm telling you right now, that's why Keeps is so great. When it comes to your hair, save more of your hair and spend less. Clever slogan, but also true. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to KEEPS.com/Tim Dillon to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's KEEPS.com/Tim Dillon to get your first month of treatment for free. They're being incredibly generous. And I think that is a really, really good thing for all the baldies out there that are balding. Don't be a balding baldy. Go to Keeps, save your hair. What's interesting is how at this point in our society, going back seems impossible, meaning that the thing that has been created seems to be the thing that is going to be either what drives us into extinction, but it doesn't ever feel like people are going to say, wait a minute, this on the whole is overtly negative. And that everything about it, like
every single thing about it is overtly negative. And yes, there are positives, but I mean, it's like I could show more positives for being in a gang than Twitter. And it's not even close. Right.
So, but it does feel like everybody's so invested in it, and it's taken over the world so quickly that it's just, the people that are going to opt out are going to be, just kind of like, they're going to be Luddites. They're going to be people that are kind of off the grid, and they're not going to really, they're not going to be able to participate in society, because this, in order to participate now in any societal function, you have to be on the grid.
So if you're on the, yes, it's true. You can't even listen to a piece of music.
You can't.
Without a credit card, without a membership to the most elite club of the American economy.
That's right.
You can't, when I was a kid, a credit card was a special thing.
Yeah.
And you paid for things with cash and checks. And you would sometimes have a credit card, but it was hard to get. And you had to sign up and you had to have accreditation.
Yeah, you have to be approved.
You had to have your shit together.
Right.
That's still the case.
Right.
Or you have to find an entity that's willing to just like gouge you for, for how much debt you take on, the debt that people have to go. You can't exist without debt.
No, you
can't go like, I don't like credit cards. I want to pay for what I have, and I don't want to be in debt. You have to be in debt. You must be in. You have to create a open debt with a huge corporate entity that outweighs you in every way.
Right.
In order to listen to some tunes.
In order to just smoke a joint and listen to a song.
Yes.
Like that's, and in order to get a job now, you have to have all of these, profiles. They search your social media profiles.
That's right.
This is something that, in order to be, when you apply to college, they search these things.
That's right.
When you are recording all the mistakes you make from when you're not 13.
Telling kids, you're not telling them when they start this stuff.
Right. That this will be held against you potentially.
Yes. It's very delicious to describe how horrible all this is, right? Because you can go on and on in so many directions.
Right.
I do think on some level it'll just sort of like become something else.
Interesting. I
have 4 nephews.
Yeah.
That are from my sisters would be aghast at how little I know about these boys or their ages.
But they exist.
I'm going to say they're between 14 to 21.
Okay.
So they're like really the next people.
Yeah.
And they kind of get it.
Right.
I have daughters too, but I don't want to talk about them. That's personal.
Sure.
But my nephews, I don't care.
Right.
But
nor should you.
Yeah. They get that they have ways around shit. They hide in different places on the internet.
Well, what's actually encouraging to see is that kids now post less. So it's cringy to have a lot of photos on Instagram.
It is, yeah.
Like my little cousin goes, your Instagram's cringe.
Yeah.
Because you have all of these photos. And I go, that's my career.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, but I have 3 photos. He goes, I get it that you're a comedian, you have to do that. But I just have 3 photos. Like one of them's a night sky, one of them's like a skateboard, and one of them's like a blurry face.
Yeah.
That you can't even tell is his, but it is.
Cool.
And that's cool because if he posted,
it's like dressing grungy.
Yes. He goes, if I posted every day, it would look thirsty. And
I like that.
Hungry
that's
and
good. That's
thirsty.
Good.
So he goes, I stay away from that. And that's all people in his generation are doing that. Hopefully that opens the door.
I think that's where it's headed. Is like we're like, what is going to happen?
Because mystery is cool again.
Yes, that's right. Mystique. That's what ruined our generation of famous people and artists.
Yes. There's no mystique.
Look.
Right.
And it's so many images of the same person over and over and over and over and over again.
I wanted to ask you about the teacher, and I want Bobby to get this picture up. There's a teacher in Canada who's a trans teacher.
With the giant tits, yes. It's like everybody's the same fucking stories, everybody.
It's the same stories.
The giant tits, yes.
What
is she doing in that classroom?
Well, no,
it's the same thing.
I think
last week it was the LA school system saying that food is, and your bit on it was hysterically funny.
Thank you.
But the thing, and I listened to your bit, I just laughed and laughed. About let's tell kids that all the foods are the same.
Why
There's
not?
No difference between the foods.
Sure.
It was the best take on it I ever heard.
Thank you.
But that thing, which is just somebody who works at LA Unified went like this.
Right.
And then Kablowy.
Yes.
And so then I listened to some other podcasts that I actually like, but it was a very serious discussion.
No.
Do we need this?
Yeah.
And it goes around the bases and everybody takes a turn.
Well,
so now it's like, who's got to take
well,
the giant
the
tit
tits
lady
are
in
so big.
Canada?
Here's the thing. I could ignore the story if they weren't that big. They're so massively big that this person wants you to discuss it.
Yeah, but she doesn't need the whole planet Earth to discuss it.
You don't get tits that big if you don't think there's
everybody
a
on
chance.
Earth. You want them to be able to see seen from space.
She wants. There's no way with getting these tits that
I know,
she
man,
didn't.
but people have a right to be fucking stupid.
Yes.
People have this is the problem right now is there's no local stupidity.
Yes. That's
There's
a good
no
point.
localized stupidity.
Yeah.
Like there was the woman in somewhere
There's
also
no
Canada.
Localized stupidity.
No, it all leaks out.
It's global.
If you do something stupid, you are gonna fucking die from shame.
Right.
Because there's gonna be Joy Reid.
Right.
And eventually Putin.
Right.
Will say that they shouldn't have let that woman
Look
in the
at
classroom.
these big tits.
It will get there.
That's how he's motivating his army.
No one gets to just be like, this. It's just the same as like fucking. There's no coffee shop down the street.
Right.
It's just Starbucks. It doesn't matter where you are.
Right.
So it's not like what I like about or whatever fucking Eugene, Oregon is that coffee place I used to go. No, it's
right.
You know what I like about Eugene, Oregon? The same thing as the airport in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
It's just the Starbucks.
Yeah.
So no one gets to have a little local culture with there's that weird person down there,
Yeah.
like that woman who was like the NAACP chapter head who was white.
Yeah, Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah. Oh, see, you know her name. And
what I have to my job.
She should have been able.
Yeah.
I'm not chastising you for knowing her name.
Of course.
You're the only end user that's worthwhile for any of this stuff for me.
Right.
But that woman should have been able to be weird in that chapter of NAACP.
I said let Alec Baldwin's wife pretend to be Spanish. I said, let her pretend to be black.
I don't know about that.
No, sure.
Yeah.
Her name's hilarious. She's pretending to be a rich Spanish lady. She's not LARPing as a maid. She's not on all fours. She's not cleaning floors. She's pretending to be a rich Spanish. Do you know the difference between a rich Brazilian woman and a rich Jewish woman? Not that much difference. So I was like, just let her put on an accent. She just wants to have an affectation.
Yeah.
She wants to have, she goes to these parties, these rich white cunts every day. She wants to be a little different. She wants to stand out. And her husband's Alec fucking Baldwin. He just dominates all the news. So like, just for her to be like, okay, just for something, for somebody to go, and where are you? Oh, where are you from? And she goes, Seville. It's just something fun for her.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and also she wants to be international.
That's right.
She married a man who's an international celebrity and, gun the guy.
So, I mean, I've always been, I'm for letting everyone pretend to be everything.
Yes. But then you have folks like the kids in Wisconsin, I think it was.
Yeah.
Who were taking a class picture and somebody said, do a Nazi salute as a joke. And they're kids on the planet Earth in the middle of Wisconsin with a lot of empty space around them.
Yes.
And they're living in a town that doesn't benefit from a global community. They're just in a little place.
They're in a little cow
and
town.
they want to make a dumb joke.
Yes. And they do the Nazi salute.
Go ahead and freeze frame this and meme. I knew it. He's a Nazi. Go ahead.
Right.
I can take it.
You can take it. But those
those kids, they're just I mean, God, the shit you said when you were in junior high school.
Yeah.
And then somebody went, throw up
there it is.
Throw up a Sikh. Oh, now we're doing it.
Yeah.
Now we're fucking, let's give that another. Everyone in that picture was like, thank God that died down. And now we're bringing it back. It's a nightmare. It's a never ending nightmare. Comedy is a terrible part of this cycle.
Well, it's a terrible part.
But these kids, and then fucking people from fucking Simon Wiesenthal is going, or whoever the fuck.
Yeah. They're like, it's like Auschwitz all over again.
Yeah, it's just like, this is, I mean, come on, let them do a dumb thing over there.
Yes. Yeah, well, it's what you really hit on it brilliantly with that term, localized stupidity.
Yeah, that doesn't exist anymore.
And the idea that people need to be stupid in their local town and they need to have somebody go, hey, you're an idiot. And it doesn't need to be national news. And it doesn't need to be a cultural moment or international news.
No.
It just needs to be something that's kind of quickly forgotten.
Right, but what's not going to stop any of that is that there's profit in it.
That's right.
Do you ever walk in your house and there's junk mail on the floor? Like 10-cent
Used
sales?
to. Now it's sent to a business manager, but
Okay,
yeah.
but it exists.
Of course.
I still get junk mail.
Right.
With a little window in the envelope with plastic in it.
Yeah.
That they put some in the window that looks like $1 or something.
Right.
The idea, I mean, junk mail, physical junk mail, where to get in on the scam, to be suckered, you have to open it and fill it in and send it in.
Send it in.
They might make 10 cents a month,
right?
But it's worth it.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. It's a little more than they're spending. And so as long as that's, and on the internet, there's no physical, you just go like, nah, fucking, you know, and the trick with the media is just put a question mark, you know? Just like this scandal, you know, Robin Williams was actually murdered by Sean Penn.
Right. Question mark.
This gets you out of the liability. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. Somewhere in the story, you bury absolutely not. It didn't happen. But people go, huh? As long as that'll make 10 cents.
Right. They'll do it.
There's always a profit motive that, you know. Yeah. Like going back to Iran for a moment. The last time Iran was a big thing for us was in 1980 when there was the hostages, right? And the Shah of Iran. Nobody remembers this. These, you know, you all think that, you know, Paul Simon was in the Beatles, so you're not going to know what I'm talking about, right? But there was the Shah of Iran was a puppet dictator that was a direct employee of the United States.
That's right.
And he was ejected by the Ayatollah and by the Iranians because he put incredible suffering on the Iranian people. Just American paid for suffering. Right. I don't remember why we made money doing this. Yeah. Maybe because they had oil. I don't know. But anyway, so then there was this thing with the Ayatollah, and then everyone they took hostages. So we were expelling Iranians out of the country. We were throwing some Iranians out of the country. And my mom and my dad, we lived in Massachusetts then, and my mom was at MIT learning computers. And she knew this guy who in Cambridge, he knew a bunch of he just was this guy he reminded me of you a little bit, that he's just a guy he's got his capitalism. He's right there. You know what I mean? Right. So he figured out that there's Iranian families all over Cambridge that are needing to leave this week. Right. And they all bought their kids Trans Ams. They all bought their kids that 1978 black Trans Am with a gold eagle that was Burt Reynolds' car. Right. In Smokey and the Bandit. Yeah. And so he knew that there was all these. So he went around to the houses of people like frantically packing and said, how much for your Trans Am? And he bought like 50 Trans Ams that were brand new for nothing, put them all on a lot. He bought a used car lot for like a week.
And just move them.
Made a fortune.
Yeah.
So as long as people are making money on that, you're just not going to stop it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great analogy, but that's why the woman with the big tits is just paying off like a slot machine. And she's just being drilled into. I mean, either that or maybe she's flourishing. Maybe it feels good. I don't know, but I have a feeling it's really not fun for her and for the kids in her class and for the teachers and the school and all the local people.
See, this is good because I never think about it.
Lives.
I never think about it like that.
Yeah. So that's I mean, if you go after, you know, fucking share for her the new lip or whatever the fuck. Well, it's a different thing.
I agree, but there's a
I'm not even saying you shouldn't do it.
No.
Because I enjoy listening to you.
No, I understand. But there's a certain thing now there is a new social contract, whether people like it or not. And I think there's a lot of things to not like about it. We've illustrated 1,000 of them. But there is a new social contract where if you get tits that are bigger than anything that anyone has ever seen, and you teach in a school where you're in a shop class, you teach shop, you solder things together. These tits, you know, my shop teacher, his name was Mr. Swinovsky. He was a creepy old guy, and this is what every shop teacher should be. He was a creepy old dude who never smiled and would just make a face when we were doing something because we were never doing the right thing. And he just cared about soldering irons and heating them up and just making sure that the little dumb rods that, you know, and we'd put together these little things that it meant nothing. And none of these skills mean anything because you hire someone anyway. It's the least valuable position in a school, and you know that because everything you do is fake. Nobody in shop class goes, you know what, I want to be an architect. It never happens.
No.
What happens is like you just make little bullshit things all day, and then these kids just, and you just try, kids, the only thing in shop is don't hurt yourself. It's the only thing in shop class. Just don't kill yourself. Don't hurt yourself. Please don't embarrass me. Don't go to the nurse. We don't want any accidents. In fact, the first 3 days of shop are him telling you about all the horrible things that have happened to other kids that didn't listen, that talked during a safety precaution. This guy burned his hand. This guy can't use his pinky. Everything's fucked. And it's such a horrible job. It's a bad job. It's not even like biology where at least you can go like, they need to know this. It's nothing. And then this woman goes and says, I'm going to get the biggest tit that anyone has ever seen. Not big tits. I'm talking about the cartoonishly biggest tits, to the point where it literally, I have to now stand back 1.5 feet from the saw. When I'm teaching the kids, because these tits now are in between the kids and these shop bullshit things. And it's so cartoonish that she waddles around this room with the big, big tits. And then she said, and we should be allowed to laugh at her because she's done a ridiculous thing. She's done a ridiculous thing, but I get why a trans person would like shop class, because it's like, we're building things. Everything can be built. Kids, everything can be built. Everything can be soldered. And I get it. I totally get it. If I was trans, I would, a class like that to me, I'd go, this is good. I don't want to teach biology. I want to teach, look what we can build. But it's just when you do it with such cartoonishly big tits.
Then the world should have at
you. The world should, because you want it. You want it. Here's what just happened that I really enjoy. I'd like to just observe. So the whole time that I was making the point about localized stupidity, and why do it, the whole time, and I remember the last few minutes this way. It's like we were sitting in this car that you're sitting there, you're just ready to go. And the engine's going blah, 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 blah. And I'm going like, we don't need to do this to people. It's too much. It's over proportioned. And you're going, Are you done? Okay. And then you went, you just went this, and then you just did a big bit about this lady. Because it needs to happen. In fact, what I view comedy as is this weird, like, you know, these dumb cunts who walk around houses in LA with sage burning? And they go, I'm like getting rid of the energy so the house will sell or whatever, right? This is what comedy is to me. In a weird way, we need to kind of like, there needs to be a moment where everybody laughs at these big tits. And then we can all
I could get with that on some level.
You've got back-to-back meetings, errands to run, chores to take care of. What's the secret to clearing your to-do list? Folks, we know it. It's DoorDash. It is the easiest thing in the world. We've all had experience with these carriers, but why is DoorDash the best? I'll tell you one of the reasons. For a limited time, our listeners can get 25%. Our listeners can get 25% off and zero delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code Tim Dillon. Download the DoorDash app, enter code Tim Dillon. That's 25% off, up to $10 value, and zero delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter the code Tim Dillon. You can get stuff from your favorite restaurants. You can get groceries. You can get last-minute school supplies. DoorDash covers you. It's got you covered. School's back in session. The kids are nuts. You're trying to figure out how to deal with it. Your husband or wife is starting problems. The job's unfulfilling. You're basically trying to just keep a lid on things. The last thing you need is a problem at dinner. Oh, they need folders for school. DoorDash. Don't want to run out. Traffic's nuts. DoorDash. Oh, I want dumplings. DoorDash. I need some groceries. DoorDash. You use my code, you save money. With over 300,000 partners, you can support your neighborhood go-tos or choose your favorite national restaurants like Popeyes, Chipotle, or the Cheesecake Factory. Again, I'm going to tell you again, don't forget, go to the App Store, download the DoorDash app. That's code Tim Dillon, TIMDILLON, for 25% off your first order with DoorDash. Subject to change and terms apply. I use DoorDash and I have for a very long time, and it's always great. And I'm really excited to bring this partnership to the people. The NFL action is in full swing here at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. We're talking touchdowns, big plays, and even bigger wins. New customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win and get $200 in free bets if they did. $200 in free bets. If that's not enough, everyone can boost their winnings with DraftKings stepped-up same-day game parlays. Right now, for every leg you add, you get to boost your winnings up to 100%. With payouts bigger than ever, why bet on football anywhere else? To make things even sweeter, you could throw down on stepped-up same-game parlays once per game day all season long. Listen, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code TIMDILLON to get $200 in free bets if your team wins when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code TIMDILLON, TIMDILLON, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. This is a great place to bet. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm telling you right now, you're boosting your winnings up to 100%, $5 on any NFL team, and get $200 in free bets. That can also result, of course, in more money. So I'm telling you right now, call to action. Okay, we'll edit that out. But telling you guys one more time, it's easy. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Promo code TIMDILLON. Get $200 in free bets. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. I use DraftKings, and all of my friends do, and absolutely everybody loves it. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-800-426-2537. 1-800-GAMBLER. Can you just show the tits, Bobby?
What happens
Bobby,
is...
show the goddamn tits, because without the tits, it's academic. Louis, this woman did not get those tits to be ignored. She did not get those.
No, but she's got. Okay, put it away.
She
has body dysmorphia.
Yeah, but you did.
She didn't want to be on the Tim Dillon show.
Oh, I don't know about that.
She didn't want to be on the Tim Dillon show.
I don't know about that, man. Those there, you can't. You get those to be ignored.
Not, but yeah, but it's not the point. The point is you got some tells you that that's what you need. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a very internal thing. It's not, I want to be on the Tim Dillon show.
It's an external thing.
Yeah, well, it manifests externally.
Yeah, it's a very external thing, too. I mean, I get what you mean, and I'm not saying she shouldn't be respected.
No, listen, here's the problem, is that once things float up to the comedy, I get it. And I have, again, my issue is not with you.
No, of course.
It really isn't. Well, of course. Of course. About yourself. No, of course. No, it couldn't be me. I mean, what I believe about comedy is that there is no moral arrow in comedy. There's no moral up or down. There's no moral gravity in comedy. That's what we do. And yes, I do think that on some level it's like, you're saging out all the serious shit that got said about her. Yes. And people, I'm sure, got really angry on both sides. Well, both sides. The left and the right tit.
Any of the sides.
Yeah.
And either tit.
Either one. But I'd just like to tell you a story about Sage, because I was once home and this woman, I get a knock on my door. Yeah. And it's a woman says, hey, I'm from next door. The house next door had sold recently. Right. She said, I'm from next door. And I was wondering if I could borrow a pot and a wooden spoon, if you have that. And I said, I do. I said, it's so nice to have you in the neighborhood. Right. And she went like looked weird. Right. I said, do you need anything else? Salt or paprika or something? You know? Right. An egg. And she said, no, just pot and a spoon. And I gave them to her. And then she came back about 2 hours later and said, and gave them back to me. Thank you. And she was a little standoffish, and she left. And then about a month later, I see them all move it in. I get a knock on the door, a different woman. She says, hey, I'm your next door neighbor. I just want to say hi. I said, you guys came here to get a pot and a spoon. She said, oh, that was a woman I hired to get evil spirits out of the house. Right. So she took a pot from me and used the spoon to get evil spirits into the pot, and then gave it to me. I love belief systems because I love the idea. Just think of that evil spirit, just the coupling of words. Evil spirit.
will just go, oh, I don't like that herb. Like, I'm out. Like, if you're an evil spirit, sage will do it. That to me has always been shocking, like what people believe. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, if you're an evil spirit and you're trapped in this house, that just some sage
and you go,
like, I can't. I know I'm an evil spirit who's trapped here because I was murdered in the basement.
Yes.
But if you light sage on fire, I'm out of here.
It's just a thing. It's for your mind, I think.
Yeah.
It's just so you feel better about it.
Before we get out of here, there's an article about people. Overpopulation is going to be going to be fixed by metaverse children. This is a thing where people are going to have children in the metaverse.
Oh, because they're not actually there.
They're not real. And I wanted to get your.
I think anybody who believes that should absolutely have a metaverse child instead of a physical child.
That's right.
I think that we should end the DNA strand that believes that.
Yes.
I mean, there's those people that, there's that thing where they're all trying to get in the mainframe.
Yes.
And live forever.
Yeah.
Please do. Please do.
Yeah.
Please, all of you.
Yeah.
Please upload yourselves.
Yeah.
They've already started it with Meta is a place that they're creating so that they can go to it and live forever.
Right.
And by the way, when you get canceled now, you can live in your home and feel okay.
Right.
But in Meta, it's going to be purgatory. It's going to be they'll actually send you to hell.
What's interesting is you could go to a metaverse.
They're going to make a hell in metaverse.
The idea of them
course they are.
Damning you.
Well, that every day, because once you're in metaverse, once that really becomes existence, you're going to have to defend yourself there. You're going to have to earn every day that you belong there.
That's a great point.
All of this mechanism of looking into everything you've said and thought.
Right.
Is going to be used to weigh where you belong in the metaverse. Do you think that they're really going to create a metaverse without a hierarchy, without a system of I don't know,
right?
And what happens to you in that meta? Well, you get locked. They have a room for the folks.
There's not going to be a metaverse without justice.
No, of course not.
Oh yeah,
of course not. So then, all of this, that's what all of this is practice for.
Interesting.
All of this stuff that they are doing now,
right?
Small parts of people,
right?
They're and maybe it's a sage-like thing. They're getting it all into the thing, into the mainframe, and we can let all that go. How beautiful would that be? And then we're just left with people walking in the streets.
That would be amazing.
Who are actually using their whole personalities.
Yeah.
Because the thing about clickbait, cancel, all this tweeting is that it finds sectors of your person, right?
Right.
I was talking about this on another thing once, that when you watch a movie with your whole self, you take your entire body to a movie, and you put your phone down and you sit there and you watch a film or a comedian or whatever, your whole self takes in the movie, right?
Right.
Your whole self isn't going to like it. There's parts of you that are going to feel good. There's parts of you that are going to feel angry. There's parts of you that you're going to have a mixed reaction because you're using your entire multifaceted human spirit.
Right.
And that's going to create conflict in you. I don't know how I feel about that movie. You talk to your friend about it afterwards. You go, I don't like that he did that at the end. You know what I mean? But I liked it. I don't know. That's a rich experience.
Right.
But it's very rare. And for filmmakers and for studios, it's hard to know what thing is going to end up with an aggregate positive. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you tickle one part of somebody, this is what you think right and wrong is. This is what gets you off sexually. These little parts of you.
Right.
That's a direct fucking touch. That's yes. It's like a drug. So you go, and you react to it, and it'll just keep getting more and more and more, and you'll just keep wanting that more and more and more. So that's the anger towards other people. All of these things, the hate and viral this and that. It's just touching little parts of each person, and you don't have to appeal to them. That's why everything's fragmented. Why no news shows the big picture, and no news story is really about here's what's happening in Iran. That's a big story. Big story of wide ranging for a long time now. There's an opportunity in Iran for them to be like a cultured and complex nation that we might actually be friends with.
Right.
And why isn't, like I saw Joe Biden say, American arms are flowing into the Ukraine as I speak. I saw him say that proudly, and I was
flowing
as I speak. He said that in Belgium when I was in Europe. And if there's a shooting war and you flow arms into it, more people get killed.
That's right.
more people die.
Yeah.
So, and I know that the young progressive kids that have like the little Ukrainian flag on their ID are very comfortable with dead Russian soldiers.
Right.
With like charred face.
Yeah. They don't
with
care.
bloated body.
Yeah.
Like stuck, like coming out of a tank.
Right.
They're like, you know,
it's right.
Go us, whatever. Fine. But some effort to not just say out loud, somebody, Biden, anybody. Yeah, I wish them well. I hope, at least do what Trump used to do for people. I wish them luck.
I love it. Yeah, I wish them well.
The Iranian folks that are putting their.
I wish them luck.
Yeah, and I don't know anything about it.
It's not our job.
No, it's not our job. It's our job to shit on all of it and make fun of it.
And also just as Americans too, it's like we can sit it out. We have a disease in this country where you can't. That's Ralph. He owns the studio.
I don't care.
Because you were here. He came. What he does is he came and took a photo of this, and he's going to go back and you see why I know. And because his account's going to, he's been losing money for 3 years. He's going to go, it's Louis C.K. The account's going to go, Ralph, I'm telling you right now, we're going to die here.
A picture of me is not a good proof of concept.
I beg to differ. It is in this world. If you're like me and you're embarrassed that you don't know more than one language, you got to get on Babbel. Babbel is the language learning app, okay, that has more than 10 million subscriptions. Thanks to Babbel's addictively fun and easy bite-sized language lessons. You can finally cross learning that new language off your list. With Babbel, you only need 10 minutes to complete a lesson, so you can start having real-life conversations in a new language in as little as 3 weeks. I've always wanted to learn other languages. I'm kind of embarrassed that I don't know them, to be honest with you, but I'm using Babbel to get over my insecurity. Other language learning apps use AI for their lesson plans, but Babbel lessons were created by over 150 language experts and voiced by real native speakers, not computers. With Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German. Plus, Babbel's speech recognition technology helps you improve your pronunciation and accent. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel. In addition to lessons, you can access podcast, games, and video stories, and even live classes. Plus, it comes with a 20-day money-back guarantee. Start your new language learning journey today with Babbel. Right now, get up to 55% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/Tim. That's babbel.com/Tim. You can get 55% off your subscription to Babbel. I'm using it right now to learn Spanish. Me gusta helado. And that is very, very good. Babbel.com/Tim for up to 55% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life. But no, everybody should go see you at your last show.
Yes, at Madison Square Garden. Also, I'm at Wembley Arena in London.
Jesus Christ.
I'm at Wembley, and this one I need to sell tickets to. They're not buying that many tickets.
Sell them in, you goth freaks.
Wembley Arena.
Yes.
In London, October 4th, this coming fucking Tuesday.
That's amazing.
And the night before, I'm at the Hammersmith Apollo. That's sold out. That's been sold out for ages.
It's amazing.
Wembley, there's still, I think, 6,000 tickets available for Wembley.
If you are one of 6,000 people in the UK,
you got to go to the show.
Go to this show in Wembley. What are you, an idiot?
I'm going to do something shocking at that show.
He's going to do something shocking.
I'm going to do something. I don't want to telegraph it.
Of course
but
not.
I might commit suicide at that show.
Wembley.
But still buy tickets to the Garden.
Think about the ad rev that you will get on a picture of Louis C.K. committing suicide.
Yes.
Think about that.
Yeah, because we restrict we restrict the phones.
Yes.
I mean, we don't put them in the sacks anymore. I don't do that anymore. Okay. We tell them don't take it out.
But during his suicide, his live suicide.
What I'm saying is that if you get a picture, you'll be one of the few because we are stopping people.
Right.
So that'd be worth a lot of money.
It's worth a lot of money.
Yeah. Please come to Wembley Arena. Also, I'm coming to Milwaukee. I'm coming to Atlanta, New Orleans. I'm thinking of places that haven't sold out yet. Nashville, I'm playing the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville. December 14th, and I'm in Pittsburgh at a place. Coming to Pittsburgh, and all those fucking places. And you can go on my website, buy all 7 specials for $25.
It's the best deal.
You can buy my new movie 4th of July.
Yeah.
And the series Louis that I made,
The best.
it's not on anywhere but my website.
So it's exclusive to
I
your
got
website.
it exclusive. They took it off of Amazon and off of Apple, and they gave it to me exclusively.
Right.
And the reason I asked them to do that was so that I could set a price that those people wouldn't have, because you have to always be the same price. You have
Yes.
to have like competitive parity, whatever.
Right.
So you only pay $30, you get all 5 seasons, and you can stream them for the next 5 years.
And
so that and Bobby Kelly made
The
a
best.
special that I directed and
I saw
financed.
the hour. It's the best.
It's
I saw
called
it in
You're Lying, and I
Texas.
appreciate that.
No, I saw it. He
When
did it in
you-
a bar in Texas.
Okay. I thought you were just saying you saw it.
No, he did it in a bar in fucking Round Rock, Texas.
Destroyed, right?
And he destroyed.
Yes.
And it's amazing.
It's called Kill Bucks.
Yes.
And we just gathered people in this box, this old fucking factory in Tampa.
Yeah.
And he went in there and he just crushed.
Yeah.
And so it's on my website October 8th.
Yeah.
For I think $10 we're
And
charging.
Bobby's coming on the show too. He's going to
Good,
be out.
good.
In LA.
All my shit. I'm sick
And
of
thank you, by the way. You're a big supporter of this show. People don't know that, but you're you.
How do I
always,
support it without people knowing though?
Well, you just tell me that you think things are funny. Which to me is how you should support it,
I'm
and
a
that
huge fan.
makes me happy.
I listen to your show like I
makes me
listen to
happy.
it like a regular person when I make my breakfast.
Well, that makes me happy that you think things are funny. So that's how you support
Very
it.
funny. You with the woman in Chicago, what's her name?
Lori Lightfoot.
The Lori Lightfoot, Tim Dillon.
Yeah.
Just Google Lori Lightfoot, Tim Dillon. It's one of the best pieces of audio.
Yeah. I appreciate it. She's a
and you guys found that too, right? Wasn't that your guys' find?
Yeah, we
her
found
Yelp that she reviewed a limousine company
I'm
on
sure
Yelp.
other people knew about it.
And then you could tell through the limousine company's reply that it was all lies.
It's all lies.
And someone found, but son, your organization, someone found that.
We found it.
And your dissection of it.
Yeah.
I listened to it on a tour bus.
Yeah.
It's one of the funniest things ever. It's a great piece. That's great. Investigative journalism.
We try, and Lori is the gift. Listen, if I lived in Chicago, I'd probably be angry, but I don't. So it's pure comedy. I want her to win again.
Yes,
I want her to win because there's nothing better than a petty, kind of small. Even though Chicago's not a small town, but like a small town petulant, childlike dictator, which is the way she behaves.
Incredible. It's an incredible thing.
Nothing is better than like a mean lesbian who like gets in feuds with local businesses. Nothing better than that.
That's
nothing.
Local stupidity.
That's
on a
local,
great level.
Localized.
Yeah, localized stupidity. If I lived in Chicago, I bet Chicago local papers make way more money under her, because in the morning they have the crazy her with the eye, and it says like, guess what she did today, and people are like fucking every fucking like it's like the Metro. It's like the T in the 40s when they used to show everybody with the newspaper.
No, it's absolutely
like, what
amazing.
does she do now?
What is she doing?
It is wonderful that America, we have these characters. We have these characters.
Nobody has better characters.
No, we are an amazing story.
There's no way that you can create a cast of characters the way this country has.
Incredible. Trump and Kardashian and Bieber and
all of these things.
And Lori Lightfoot. It's beautiful. It's
such a beautiful.
And once it wafts up to you, what you do with it, you should never hold back.
No, we can't.
You cannot.
I don't know how. Yeah.
That's once it gets to you, it's too late.
That's right.
I believe that.
That's right. It is once it's here, it's too late.
It's too late. It's time to go hard.
Yeah.
And
for
just
sure.
Fucking dig in, baby. It's beautiful. I love what you do.
Very good. Louis C.K., go get everything he has.
LouisCK.com. Go to my website. Otherwise, I can't do this anymore.
LouisCK.com.
No other stream of income except my own industry now.
Get LouisCK.com.
And just buy all the shit, please.
Give him the money now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Sure, man.
I appreciate it.
It was fun.